The ocean roared, its waves crashing furiously against the jagged rocks as Neha fought to keep her head above water. Her chest burned, lungs aching with every desperate gasp for air. The world around her blurred, the cold water numbing her body and mind. How had she ended up here? Flashes of memory teased her, floating helplessly, the terror of being pulled under, and the frantic struggle to reach the surface. A scream echoed in her ears, piercing and shrill, a scream that might have been her own. As darkness swallowed her whole, she felt herself slipping away. But when she opened her eyes again, it wasn't the icy depths that greeted her, it was the harsh, sterile lights of a hospital room. She was alive, but the memory of nearly drowning clung to her, vivid and unshakable. Her heart pounded as she tried to make sense of what had happened, but her mind was a maze of confusion and fear. A new beginning? 3 weeks passed in a haze of pain and uncertainty. Neha lay in her hospital bed, her husband roams by her side, holding her hand. The doctor's face was grim as he explained the results of her tests. The trauma from the accident had caused partial memory loss. Her physical wounds were healing, but the psychological scars ran deep. Neha, it's time to go home, Rome said softly, his voice gentle as he brushed a strand of hair from her face. Don't think too much about what happened. It was just an accident, nothing more. But his words did little to calm the storm inside her. A gnawing sense of unease lingered. What had she been doing before the accident? Why did she feel like something vital was missing? As Rome stepped out to take a phone call, Neha overheard him whisper words that sent a chill down her spine. She won't survive this time. Castle Island. The journey to Castle Island was shrouded in silence, the mist-covered island looming ominously on the horizon. As the boat neared the rocky shore, Neha couldn't shake the eerie feeling that the island was more than just a place. It was alive, watching her, waiting. The house stood alone on a cliff, its dark, foreboding silhouette stark against the gray sky. Rome struggled with the front door, muttering under his breath as he went around to check if it was locked from the inside. Left alone, Neha reached for the doorknob. To her surprise, it turned easily in her hand, the door swinging open with an eerie creak. A cold draft brushed past her, carrying with it a faint, unintelligible whisper. Neha, are you all right? Rome's voice startled her, snapping her out of the trance. She forced a smile, hiding the growing unease that churned in her gut. Yes, everything's fine, she lied, hoping to convince herself as much as him. Secrets within. The house was a mausoleum of forgotten memories, filled with boxes of old belongings and remnants of Rome's failed business ventures. After the pandemic, we almost lost everything, Rome's explained, his voice tinged with bitterness. But your idea to turn this place into a hotel saved it. Neha nodded absently, her attention drawn to a dusty piano in the corner. As she gazed at a framed photo on the wall, of her and Rome's on their wedding day, faint memories stirred, but they were distant, like echoes in a cavernous void. The love she once felt seemed a lifetime away, replaced by a hollow emptiness that gnawed at her insides. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the room, Neha began to unpack. Among the old belongings, she found a stack of photographs from 2 years ago, images of a time when life seemed simpler, happier. Tears welled up in her eyes as she sifted through the memories, her heart heavy with a sense of loss. Neha, would you play something for me? Rome's voice broke through her reverie. He gestured to the piano, a hint of nostalgia in his eyes. Reluctantly, Neha sat down at the instrument, her fingers trembling as they touched the keys. A melody flowed from her hands, one she didn't recognize, yet it felt deeply familiar. That's our song, Rome's whispered. You composed it for me. You called it our love song. Unseen presences. Later that night, as they prepared for bed, a sudden crash shattered the silence. Neha and Rome's rushed downstairs to find the patio door in pieces, glass shards scattered across the floor. Rome's dismissed it as a fluke, blaming it on shoddy renovation work, but Neha couldn't shake the feeling that something, or someone, had caused it. The next morning, workers arrived to continue the renovations. Rome's gave them instructions before joining Neha by the shore. "There's no signal on the island," he said casually. "If you need to make a call, you'll have to climb the hill to get a weak connection." As they stood by the water's edge, Neha's heart pounded with fear. The memory of nearly drowning resurfaced, making her shiver despite the warmth of the sun. Rome's wrapped his arms around her, whispering reassurances, but his words felt hollow, offering little comfort. The stranger. That evening, as Neha wandered the shadowy halls, she heard a faint sound, like a soft, mournful cry, coming from one of the rooms. Following the noise, she found herself standing in front of a mirror in the hallway. In its reflection, she saw a woman, a stranger, standing in the bedroom. But when Neha turned to look, the room was empty. Her heart raced as she hurried downstairs, desperate to find Rome's. But before she could reach him, a man stepped into her path. "I've fixed the window," he said, introducing himself as Mike, one of the workers. But Neha barely registered his words, her mind still reeling from the sight of the mysterious woman. Later, as the house settled into an uneasy silence, Neha heard the piano playing by itself. She approached cautiously, her pulse quickening. A small object rolled across the floor, coming to a stop just outside a closet door. Neha hesitated, her hand trembling as she reached for the door handle. But before she could open it, a voice called her name. She turned to see a woman standing in the hallway. "Aisha?" Neha gasped, recognizing her old friend from school and college. Aisha explained that she had come to check on Neha after hearing about the accident. "Have you noticed anything strange since you came back?" Aisha asked, her voice tinged with concern. Neha hesitated, unsure whether to share her fears. But Aisha's next words sent a chill down her spine. "This house is haunted, Neha. And whatever is here, it's dangerous. Haunted and trapped." Aisha's warning lingered in Neha's mind, a seed of doubt that grew with each passing moment. Could it be true? Could the house be haunted? She wanted to believe Rome's would never bring her to a place filled with such malevolence, but the strange occurrences were impossible to ignore. During dinner, Neha tried to broach the subject with Rome's, asking about the history of the house. But he dismissed her questions, insisting there were no secrets, nothing to worry about. Yet Neha's suspicions only deepened. Why did he lie about the broken elevator when she had clearly heard it working earlier? That night, Neha confronted Rome's, demanding to know the truth about the house. His response was a nervous laugh, brushing off her fears as superstition. But Neha saw the cracks in his composure. He was hiding something. As she lay in bed, the sound of footsteps echoed through the hall. The door to their room creaked open, and Neha's heart pounded as she peered out. The elevator, which Rome's had claimed was broken, stood with its doors wide open, as if inviting her to step inside. Equals the truth unveiled. Driven by a mix of fear and determination, Neha stepped into the elevator. Her hand shook as she pressed the button for the basement. The descent was slow, the darkness oppressive. When the doors finally opened, she found herself in a cold, damp basement. The door to the boat garage was padlocked and reinforced with wooden planks, as if someone were trying to keep something, or someone, out. As Neha searched the room, her foot struck something small and metallic, a business card. She picked it up and read the name, Inspector Devdat. Her mind raced with questions. Why would a police inspector's card be here? And why was the garage door so heavily secured? The next morning, Neha confronted Rome's with the card, but he dismissed her concerns once again. Determined to uncover the truth, Neha decided to leave the island. But as she boarded the ferry, memories of her near drowning came rushing back, paralyzing her with fear. She returned to the house, only to find Aisha waiting for her. The Beginner's Guide to Contacting a Cryptid, Creepypasta Scary Story. Hidden deep within the dense forests surrounding Seattle lies a legend that has become a cornerstone of local folklore. This tale speaks of a terrifying creature that roams the woods under the veil of darkness. While Bigfoot is often the subject of local myths, this being is said to be something far more malevolent. A grotesque hybrid of the Michigan Dogman and a werewolf, with a macabre twist. In stark contrast to the typical Bigfoot sightings, this creature is described as having a horrifying visage, a skull-like face. The demon is said to have a stark, bone-white skull with menacing, jagged teeth and deep, hollow eye sockets. Witnesses report that these empty eye sockets seem to peer into the very depths of their souls. Adding to the enigma, the demon is reputed to avoid cameras and recording devices, adding to its elusive nature. This aversion to technology hints at a disturbing possibility that it may have once been human, transformed by a bizarre accident or a dark ritual. According to legend, the Coal Creek demon dwells in the heart of the forest, far removed from human civilization. It is believed to observe hikers from a distance, surviving on a diet of deer and wild berries. However, due to the scarcity and unpredictability of these food sources, encounters with humans can be both dangerous and erratic. The creature's primary haunt is around Coal Creek, lending it the moniker of the Coal Creek Demon. Some locals speculate that the demon might be the restless spirit of a miner who met a tragic end in an old mining settlement. Although this theory adds a dramatic touch, other, more plausible explanations for the demon's origins exist. Despite its ominous reputation, there is no known reward for encountering this demon, but the allure of the unknown has drawn the brave, or the foolhardy, to seek it out. If you are determined to seek out the Coal Creek demon, here is a detailed guide on how to conduct the ritual. Note that success is not guaranteed, and the demon is unlikely to cater to your whims. This ritual is best approached as a thrilling adventure with friends rather than a serious pursuit. Begin by preparing a gift. While it can be a simple metal token or trinket, it is highly recommended to offer a meal of red meat and berries. This gift is essential for attracting the demon. Without it, the demon is unlikely to appear. If it does show up, you must leave immediately. Establish your campsite deep within the forest, away from artificial lights. Arrive just before sunset to set up your camp. The deeper you venture into the woods, the better your chances. Put away all recording devices and limit your light sources to flashlights. You may start a fire, but keep it dim to create a welcoming yet secure atmosphere. Place your remote-activated light source a few feet away from the edge of your camp and position the gift next to it. Keep the light switched on. As night falls, relax and enjoy time with your companions while keeping a watchful eye on the tree line. The demon may begin to reveal itself. Look for signs of the demon's presence, such as a tall shadow in the distance, rustling foliage, an eerie silence, or an unsettling feeling of being watched. If you notice these signs, you may have made contact. Cease all conversations and reduce noise. Turn off the remote light source and ensure that flashlights are pointed away from the gift. Any mistakes at this stage could provoke the demon. The demon should approach the gift. Remain calm and avoid sudden movements. Do not shine lights on the creature or use recording devices. If the demon disregards the gift and moves toward your camp, you must flee immediately. If you choose to continue, extinguish all light sources and put on your blindfolds. The demon will then explore your camp and inspect you up close. Stay perfectly still and do not remove your blindfold. If you hear any distressing noises, evacuate immediately. Once the demon loses interest and leaves, you can remove your blindfolds and turn the lights back on. If you survive the encounter, you can boast about it to those who believe. Legends suggest that the demon occasionally preys on humans, especially when it is hungry or provoked. It is crucial to be well prepared and follow the instructions carefully to avoid provoking it. The best time to undertake this ritual is during the summer or early fall, when blackberries are in season and wildlife is most active. A 9-year-old boy disappeared during a hike with his parents. After a frantic search, he was found 20 miles north, claiming to have been playing with a friendly bear. When shown a sketch of the Coal Creek demon, Brian identified it as the creature he encountered, lending credibility to the theory of the demon being an ex-human. During a high school camping trip, my friend Steven attempted the ritual. The demon appeared, and chaos ensued when a camper removed his blindfold. The creature reacted violently, causing panic. Steven and his friends barely escaped with their lives, and the demon vanished as mysteriously as it had appeared. The Coal Creek demon remains a chilling enigma, a blend of myth and reality that continues to captivate and terrify. Whether you believe in its existence or not, the thrill of the encounter and the stories surrounding it make it a memorable part of local lore. If you decide to seek it out, proceed with caution, and remember, some legends are best left undisturbed.